Sawate. So I'm here to help you prepare for your performance exam. You read this passage last week, and many of you expressed how challenging Latin is getting, and that is normal because every chapter we do, it gets a little more challenging. So don't worry, but please make note of the following tips so that you are prepared for your performance exam. If you don't have paper in front of you, grab some now. Hit pause and then resume. Okay, so we're going to go through all of your verb tenses, and you're going to need to pause a lot and practice. And we're going to keep coming back to this passage, but here we go. Verb tenses. This is a good time to pause and copy things down, and then I'm going to add to it. Okay, so you were asked to find an infinitive, which you struggled with. So numerare is to count. Anything that ends in re is to verb. Okay, it's the basic form of the verb. Look for that re on the end of a verb. Present tense in this case would be like numerat. Y'all did really great on that one. Present tense, perfection. Just remember to translate your subject as he or she counts. BA, lovely job. In this case, an example would be numerabat. Translation, was or were counting. Don't forget the subject. He was counting. She was counting. I can't fit all of that. Perfect tense, V sucks. Numerawit. He counted. I would say, since you only have to find one example, find your strongest example. Some of you picked ones that I don't think you were sure about. Go with your strongest one. So let's go to the passage. This is a time for you to hit pause. Look in the first paragraph, okay, from here to here, and find your perfect tense. Pause. Okay, I hope you found invitawit, invited, as your perfect tense. Now I would like you in this first paragraph to find an infinitive. Pause. Okay, I hope you found ire or honorar re, re. Those are your infinitives. Great. Now also still in that first paragraph, find a present tense verb. Pause. I hope you found facet and wolt. Please remember that verbs tend to be by periods. So if anything is a verb, make note of that, to look by a period. Okay, or a comma. Look at facet happening right there next to that comma. So punctuation is a clue for verbs. Write that tip down. Okay, we're moving on to nouns. You are my subject, my only subject. Your nominative, you run the verb. You may be puellas, there or weird things like canes. Plural, puellas, there or canes. I know you don't like that I added in weird things like canes, but I think some of you struggle when what the wiggly blank is. So it's any weird thing like Rex. Rex is a great example. It doesn't fit anywhere else in the chart. There's no X on the chart. I would say, in order to avoid translation struggles, try to find a name that ends in A or us. It's the easiest way to get a nominative. Name that ends in A or us. Go. Write that tip down. Dative. A-E-O-I, yes, that's the dative. Use these endings when you show, tell, or give. E-C-Sibus says 2 or 4 with indirect objects, special verbs, and more. Yeah. Okay, your clues. You need to find a verb of show, tell, or give. It needs to be to or for a person as your translation. Yes, I said as your translation. Don't just put salvius. Put to salvius. Write those endings. A-E-O-I. E-C-Sibus says 2 or 4. Yes, it's to a person. Make note of that. It's never a place. I'm going to give you in a moment a tip on how to find one a lot easier. Oh, it's my favorite. Accusative endings go em, em. The accusative endings go em. It's direct object. The accusative plurals go os, ace. Woo. os, os, ace. Ooh, os, os, ace. The accusative plurals go. Os, os, ace. It's still direct object. Find something that's being impacted by a verb. Cool, cool? See if you could just start with your nominative and be like, okay, that guy is doing whatever verb to that guy. That way you know. Ablative. Whoo, baby friend. You are on the struggle bus. The last case is the ablative a, o, is, ibus. By, with, from, and on, by, with, from, and on, by, with, from, and on, and sit space prepositions. The last case is the ablative a, o, ibus. I hope you say that again. The last case is the ablative a, o, ibus. The last case is the ablative a, o, ibus. Get that in your head. It's object of preposition. Yes, I am aware that dative plural and ablative plural and some of the singulars are the same. You're going to need to use the preposition to help you. But don't worry, I have tips for all of these things. Okay, let's go to the passage. So, here you are. Let's do this little thing right here because this is nice. Find a nominative. Find someone who is the subject of the verb. Yes, great. Tripodes. Nicely done. Tripodes here as well. It didn't come at the beginning, which is fine. But I told you the easiest thing to do is find a name that ends in "us," right? So Quintus, Cagadubnus, Claudius, Rex Cagadubnus. Find a name that ends in "us" for a nominative. Okay? All the purples are my nominative. Accusative. Because if you find a nominative, generally you can find an accusative. So, for example, in my first sentence, Cagadubnus, we already used the verb invited. Whom did he invite? All the nobles. That's both of those are accusative. Okay? Oh, down here, Quintus. Here's my nominative, right? What'd he do? He brought. What'd he bring? Silver gift. There's an accusative. Are so good. I love, personally, you know what my personal favorite is? EM. I like an EM. I don't know why, but I really do. Okay, there's your accusative. Dative. You gotta find a verb of show, tell, or give. Or, you ready for the fun part? If you find an impersonal verb. For example, it is necessary. You know what follows that? A dative. For my master. Oh my gosh, it's dative. Can you find another nekesayest in the passage? Yeah, right here. It is necessary for me. And you know what? Me, he's always dative. Always. Always is a big deal in language, right? Always. Oh, so excited. If you ever see me, he, Tibby, or Nobis, they are always dative. Make note of that. Go. Also, use those impersonal verbs. Okay. Decorum est. It is proper. For King Cagadubnus. It's dative. How amazing. Okay. It is necessary. Which word's dative? I hope you just yelled out me. Hope you yelled me. I thought there was one more. Yeah, nekesayest. It is necessary. Me. Oh, thank you. Thank you, whoever you yelled that at me. Non placet. Me. Such a good dative. You can use regular datives, though, like I want to bring a gift to the king. Yeah, great. There are so many datives. Oh, good eyeballs, Tibby. My tip is when you're in reading comp, if you find any impersonal verb, or if you find any verb of show, tell, or give, mark it. Okay? So, the one you don't like is ablative. I'm going to erase this because this was accusative. And accusatives were red. Ablative is the object of the preposition. So you need to find a preposition that's on Sid space. Odd is not on Sid space, so you cannot use the word after it. Scanning for a preposition. You probably already found it faster than me. X, right here. X is a preposition. The word after it is ablative. Do not write X. Just write the word that follows the preposition. In is a preposition on Sid space. So just write down arca. Yeah, technically you're right. Maya works. But I was thinking just arca. Okay? Okay. So, reminders for those of you who've forgotten. Sine in de sub pro ab cum ex. The word that comes after it. If it says like ex amicis, that word is dative. Cum amico. Sorry, not dative. Did I say dative? Please boo me. Ablative. Cum amico. Amico's ablative. Ab urbe. Urbe's ablative. Pro templo. Templo's ablative. Okay, I can go all day long. But many of you on your performance exam were putting things like in tablino. And it's like, yes, but I just want that one word. Okay, on the grammar search, your answer should be one word. Adjectives. Pause and copy this down. Okay, so positive adjective has no particular sign. It's any regular adjective. Comparative has the IOR, and you're going to translate it something like more or. So if you're litior, you're happier. If you're pulchrior, you're prettier. We would just say more pretty, right? If superlative has that double letter, you're litissimus. You're not happy, you're very happy. You're the most happy. You're happiest. You're pulcherrima. You're the most beautiful. You're the prettiest. And please remember, some of you said you're struggling with reading comp, and that's because it has the noun followed by the adjective in Latin. But when you read, you have to understand that your translation will put your adjective first. Some of you just need to read in Latin before you attempt to translate. If you read in Latin first, I promise it will be better. So if we look at the passage, remember adjectives come second. My is an adjective that agrees with master, right? Noble is an adjective that describes everybody. Those are just positive adjectives. They're just the basic adjective. But like antiquissimus, double S, that is superlative, and it describes this bronze jar. Silver, basic adjective describing the tripods. So positive adjectives y'all find really challenging, but it's just because you forgot the name of them. They're just regular adjectives. Don't forget, optimum is superlative because you translate it very well, or the best. So I know there's no double S, double R, double L, but it still is superlative. Make note of that because that's such a great superlative that y'all feel comfortable with as a vocab word. Last but not least, here are those impersonal verbs I was reminding you about translation-wise. Okay? Start with the verb. It is necessary. Then go to the dative. For Quintus. And then jump straight to the RE. To live. Okay, you want to do the main verb, followed by the dative, followed by the infinitive. The word ends in RE. And then just throw the rest of the words in there, okay? Decorum est rufilae ad vilam familiarum invitare. See how I read in Latin always first? Where do I start? Yes. It is proper. Good. For Rufilla. Where do I go next? Yes. RE. To invite. And then just do the rest of it. To invite a relative to the house. this is a sentence. Your sentences are hard now because they're long. And so you are getting frustrated and you don't know where to go because your old routine of going from the first word to the last word is not working for you. Here are some tips. 1, treat a comma like a yield sign. Just stop. If you come to a verb, you need to handle that chunk before you move on. And then treat these little chunks as 2 different sentences. So, find a verb first. It is proper. Where did I tell you to go next? To the dative. For king cogadubness. Skip the words that end in M. Skip the words that end in M. Skip the words that end in M. Write that down. It is proper for king cogadubness, R-E, to honor the emperor. Now that we've done the first half, we can do the second half. Because the emperor, skip the words that end in M, made him king. I had a lot of you asking me about that question last week, and it's just hard because there's so many words. And you tried to make king, cogadubness, and emperor all go together, but they all have different endings, and you cannot. So, if we go to the passage, if you feel overwhelmed, I would say find impersonal verbs. They are filled with gems. Look at that. You have est, present tense verb. You have domino is a dative. And you have an infinitive all in one sentence. Oh, isn't that lovely? Look at that. It is necessary, present tense verb. Me, he, a dative. Oh, this one has an accusative and this one has an infinitive. Impersonal verbs are so lovely. They're called impersonal because the subject is it. Okay, if you wonder why I keep doing that. Your impersonal verbs are necesse, decorum, difficilis, and its opposite, facilis. Facile est, it is easy. Right? It is easy for us to dance. Placet, it is pleasing to you. Those are your impersonal verbs. I think it'll help you translate if you pay attention to do the verb, the impersonal verb. It is difficult. In this case, it is not difficult. Then go to your dative, for us. Then get the infinitive, to find. And then do everything else. In this case, to find a gift. Master. You're going to do great on your performance exam. Just go slow. Remember, you only have to pick one example for your grammar. Your grammar is a one-word answer. So pick your strongest choice that you feel most comfortable with. You've got this. We believe in you.